The programs that we have, the life programs that we have, can deliver individual life insurance policy up to $5 million each for each person insured. So an example, if you had 80 people to insure, you could actually deliver $5 million of life insurance for each of those 80 people. No exam and no blood work. And we do all of the work in reference to applications and onboarding of all these people. The programs are portable. That means the life insurance plan, the individual employee owns the contract, individual policy. The employee names his or her own beneficiary. The company pays for it. That's how 85% of our plans are set up. So it's the delivery of something that most advisors don't know exists on planet Earth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CBS Spotlight. If you're here by mistake, you are in the right place now. I'm Eric Alvarado, along with your co-host, Mr. Ted Hikes, and we are your friendly guides to this world of wealth management and insurance. And today on our show, we have Mr. Rick and Jake Eskin from Dye Eskin, and Rick is the actual president and one of the original founding members of Dye Eskin, and Jake is the vice president of insurance sales. Gentlemen, welcome. Did I miss anything?
No.
I'm also Rick's son. You missed that. But other than that, you did a pretty good job, Eric.
Beautiful. Well, thank you.
Well, I thought I'd kind of start by giving a little short version of history. And as Eric mentioned, founding member, we started on February 20th, 1980. Pretty long run for Dye Eskin. Mr. Dye is no longer with us, but Jake and his sister Erica are here, and so I'm the lucky one, being able to work with both my children basically in the field of executive benefits, these carve-out life insurance plans that we're going to talk about today.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I'm very excited to have you here today because this is going to be an education for me, and I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about Dye Eskin. But for our advisors and our audience who are unfamiliar with Dye Eskin, how would you describe your niche in the benefit space, and why should advisors that are caring for business owner clients really pay attention to Dye Eskin and what you're doing?
Great question. Well, Dye Eskin's been in the executive benefit space since about the year 2000. So we have a long history, basically doing only life insurance carve-out business. So we have seems to be the longest tenure of doing that. And advisors should be aware that this exists. Many advisors don't even know that this niche exists. If they're talking to client firms, then this would be very advantageous for their book of business to know what we do. We're administrators in the guarantee issue life insurance world.
So we're on the same team as the advisors. We're not competing with them in any way, shape, or form. We're trying to help them find these solutions that fit their existing clients or new clients in the world where advisors are constantly looking for new angles and new avenues of business. We kind of provide something a little different than what they do in their typical day-to-day sales. We can help them find new prospects, new corporate clients, new individual clients that may come from the corporate business that they're doing through Dye Eskin. So all the stuff we're going to talk about today is really helpful in expanding their business.
Yeah, and to add to what Jake just said, what we do is corporate provided, corporate paid life insurance in the guarantee issue type world. No exams, no blood work, multi-life sales, corporately paid. Very important to understand that. And we do all the work that's entailed in implementing a case. One of our constant reminder stages is the agent won't do any work in reference to implementing, which is very, very valuable.
And we're very dog friendly. If you hear any dogs barking in the background, they are just as excited about corporate benefits than we are.
Yeah,
There's three of
yeah, it
them in
really
our
sounds.
office, and at
That
any
could
time you could hear them bark. But we love them, and they're great coworkers.
Absolutely.
the thing about it is, Jake, is that could be any of our houses because I know Eric's
Yeah.
dog loves the FedEx truck. My dog
Mhm.
loves the Amazon and FedEx truck, so it could be any of us.
Exactly. But hey, great introduction, and thank you for kind of pointing out and really clarifying what you guys are bringing to the field. And I think it is an absolutely unique portion of things that a lot of advisors don't really think about. And I think where you guys do a lot of the work, and kind of, I think that's one of those things that kind of prevents advisors from actually digging in and really wanting to do this kind of business. But you guys would be the great partner, it sounds like. So.
Thanks.
So, your guaranteed issue carve out programs really do things like remove barriers, like exams and blood work. How does this process make it easier for advisors to really deliver value without slowing down the client experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we are all about ease and efficiency with our plans. I mean, everything in the world today is about ease and efficiency. You know, you
Yeah.
can order dinner from your couch on your phone without getting up. Last night, I realized I didn't have any coffee in the morning, so
Oh,
I
man.
ordered it and it showed up on my doorstep the next morning. We want the life insurance experience to be the exact same way for these advisors' clients. That's why we're in this guarantee issue type space. I mean, what's in the open market? What's the most difficult part of the process? And that's generally the underwriting. You have to schedule an exam. That takes, a couple weeks, maybe a month longer. Then you have to submit the exam to the insurance carrier. Then you have to, bug the underwriter to look at it, 3 times. And then there's the dogs barking again. And then you have to get the dogs to stop barking. And then the underwriter has some follow-up questions. Usually you have to, go back to your client. They're on vacation with their family. It can take months and months and months of following up and trying to track people down. And we eliminate all that with our program. They do a 2-minute online application. They answer two underwriting questions or eligibility questions, we like to call them. One is just an actively at work question. The other is, have they missed 5 or more days in the last 90 due to illness or medical treatment? And they're done. We can, deliver up to $5 million of life insurance coverage with just those 2 questions.
Wow.
So we want to make the whole experience very easy. In the world of corporations and corporate benefits, you're dealing with a lot of people that are very busy in their day-to-day lives, and they don't have time to schedule exams, and you don't have time to put 100 lawyers through a exam, or 100 doctors through an exam, or 600 VPs through an exam. We eliminate all that hassle and all that aggravation by them just having to fill out a 2-minute online pre-populated application, and delivering a product and a life insurance benefit that is very valuable to all their clients.
Well, gentlemen, when an advisor introduces your solution specifically to a business owner client, can you dive in and go a little bit deeper on what support you provide in terms of marketing, case design, compliance, really with a goal towards an eye towards making this process as turnkey as possible?
That's a very, very important question. Thanks, Ted. We do provide a lot of support in reference to the sales process, and I'll go into some of that now. You remember these particular programs are in the corporate world, so we're selling to a company. So the advisor is selling to a company, HR person, a benefits person. It could be someone at the line. It could be the CEO. It could be the CFO. So with a good amount of discussion, we talk to the advisor and find out which one of those people is best for the delivery of this of these answers to all the questions they're going to have. There's great strategy, and strategy is actually a good word. I like to talk to advisors about strategy. You're only going to have an hour or so to talk to one of these people. So you got to strategize and generally strategize with us because we have a lot of history in this market to figure out what is the best way to get the information across to end up with a sale. We also provide, and Jake's going to get into this marketing, um, not only marketing to the agent, but the agent marketing to the end client. And go ahead, Jake. Well,
Yeah, we can put together, one pagers. A lot of times we talk about our programs and to advisors, and then they kind of say, okay, well, what's next? They may not have the time or the skills on the computer to create these one-page pieces that are very pretty and nice. Rick and I don't have those skills either, but we have someone at our office that does. So they can put together those type of creative pieces that will excite a corporate client. They can brand it. They can put the advisor's name on it. We want to make this process, as mentioned, as easy as possible for the advisor. So we want to help as much as they are willing to let us help them with this sales process. Also, what we'll do in reference to administration, Rick went over this a little bit earlier, but we handle all the administration as well of this product once you actually implement a plan. We'll get on the phone with the client's HR team ahead of time and have what we call an implementation call, where I'll demo exactly what online enrollment looks like. So everybody's very comfortable throughout the entire enrollment process. Usually at the end of these calls, they say, yeah, Jake, that's pretty straightforward. And I say, yeah, that's the intent. We don't want their important people, their executives, their lawyers, their doctors, their partners to be spending a lot of time filling out a life insurance application. They have much more important things to do in their day-to-day job. We don't want them stressing over that. So we want to handle all that work, and we want to handle all that administration for the advisor and the client at the end of the day so that they don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. Just to go over those items, each one is important in the whole process. So educating the advisor on the products themselves, because the products have details that are important to understand. Then to figure out, as I said, about strategy, sales strategy. Who are you going to talk to? How are you going to deliver? What's the best avenue to do that? And as Jake said, marketing pieces. We have a business development director here. But maybe the most important thing in reference to all we just said, there's no cost to anything we talked about.
Very nice.
An advisor can use all that we just talked about for free and lean on us as much as they want.
Doesn't everybody like something that's free? Isn't that I like anything that's free.
I also do. I agree. I'm curious as a follow-up, what level of engagement do you typically see with advisors? Is it all across the board, like advisors that are very engaged, meaning they want to be on the implementation call? And if they want to, do you invite them on that call? Are there advisors that have essentially they're making the connection, and then once that sale is made, they're turning it over to you? What does that look like from advisor to advisor?
I can take that one. I mean, it depends, but at the end of the day, it is the advisor's client. So we're going to rely on them to kind of lead us in how much they want to be involved or how little they want to be involved. A lot of advisors, understandably, want to handhold their clients through everything. They're very important corporate clients. They may know the CEO personally, so they don't want something to get screwed up throughout the process. But on the other hand, a lot of advisors say, Jake, take this, don't include me on anything, just run with it. We may have built trust with them over the years that they know it's going to go smoothly and they don't have to worry about, anything going awry. But so it's really both. We always want to be, Rick and I want to be on as many calls as possible, especially in the sales process, just because, when you're talking to somebody, an advisor's talking to a client, they're going to have some questions that the advisor's probably not going to know, like something administrative. And you lose a lot of momentum in the sale when you have to go back and there's 7 follow-up questions, and then you have to schedule another meeting. And, the first 15 of that meeting is just going over what you went over in the last meeting again. So we can be in the background on every call that an advisor's on, and they can just turn to us and say, Jake, Rick, you answer. But a lot of them have us lead some of the calls as well. So again, like Rick mentioned, we're here to help in all aspects: sales, marketing, admin, everything.
There's another item I don't want to fail to bring up, and this has to do with the advisor's comfort with us. We are data security centric. Data security, as you know, is a very important item in today's world. It's maybe the most important. That you are clear in reference to data security. We are what they call SOC 2 accredited, SOC. Those are capital letters, the number 2, which is the highest accreditation of data security you can have in the United States. We're also GDPR compliant, which is the analogous SOC 2 in the European Union and the rest of the world. It's very comforting for an agent or an advisor who understands the importance of data security to know that we're at the top of the game. It also is an absolute must for most clients that we have this SOC 2 accreditation. They will ask us because they're looking to avoid any kind of data security breach, and that's how we play in this world. We're at the top of the game. We have a data security consultant on retainer for us 24/7. So we know how important it is to both the advisor and the client.
Yeah, I know this varies a lot as well, but what does a time frame look like to put one of these cases together? And does it matter the agent involvement, or if they're involved more, does it lead to more quicker sales, or is it a quicker process, or the less they're involved it goes
Jake, you can have it.
Yeah. It depends. It can be really quick, or it can take a while. Remember, you're selling to a corporate client, so you got to get sign off from the CFO, usually an HR team as well. So there may be 1 or 2 calls, there may be 10 calls about this, but it can happen, as quickly as, a couple months, from start to finish, from the first call to, actually implementing a plan and enrolling them. The enrollment actually is usually about 2 to 3 weeks. We send out all that. It's all done online as well. But the sales process, it really starts with a census of the people that we're looking to get insured. We need at least 15 lives under this program. They got to be under our programs. They got to be white collar, and they have to be earning at least $100,000 in total cash comp. So it's really a census sale. So that's really when you have a real prospect, once we obtain a very minor census, so that I can quote out some options for them, and so that you can see pricing. It's never, you're never going to sell to a corporate client without telling them how much it costs.
Right.
Right.
They're not going to agree as much as we would like for them to agree before knowing the price.
Yeah.
That's why advisors really have a game. Rick always likes to use the analogy that these products will get you to the 1-yard line, and salesmanship will get you in the end zone.
Nice.
And so I'm stealing that analogy because I've heard it so many times. But yeah, we want to help with that salesman. The products are great that we have. The programs are great. They're different. Companies really like them. And then we kind of team up to strategize and figure out the way to get in that end zone.
Yeah,
make a sale.
As Jakey said, salesmanship is a good word. It's not a bad word.
Yeah.
It's just figuring out how to make the sale in a limited amount of time, because you don't have a lot of time to tell your story. You need to tell the story. And if you're at the 1 yard line, as Jake just said, if you're at the 1 yard line and with good strategy and the right people, and we're always saying, get us on the phone, because we have so many different strategies and have been on this so often, or on a screen like we're on today, to get the agent in the end zone, the advisor in the end zone.
If you couldn't tell, we love sports as well, so we will continue with sports analogies for the rest of this podcast.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
I was ready for the tush push.
We'll get there. I'm curious, with just based on the timing. Our open enrollment for our organization starts in a couple of weeks. Is there a better time of year that you guys see to have these conversations? Is there a time of year to avoid, like open enrollment with all the stuff going on with companies? Is this a time of year where this is a good conversation, or is this better to be had in the spring? Do you see any time that's better?
Yeah, I'll get that. It's usually better to do this off anniversary, or off open enrollment. They have so many choices in open enrollment, and employees are watching their pocketbooks, because there's voluntary plans. They're being charged generally for some portion of the health insurance cost, and they're just trying to figure out, what can I afford? Now, this one, the employer is paying all the premium, but we still want to make sure that it's clear, there's clarity, and it's not jumbled, and people are forgetting to do their application going online. We have a whole process for that. So we find that when it's alone in the spring, in the summer, or early fall, it stands alone and is clearer to all the employees of what's happening.
Okay, that's good. That makes sense. I was curious, so thank you.
Very informative stuff, guys. I'm truly learning a lot. Appreciate it. So what types of business owner situations or client profiles are the sweet spot for what Dye Eskin solutions bring to the table? And how can advisors identify those opportunities in their book of business?
Yeah, that's a great question. As I mentioned, we need 15 insured lives for both of these programs that we have in this life carve-out business. They got to be white collar. They have to be earning $100,000 or more. So you see a lot of law firms. You see a lot of consulting, financial, healthcares, and hospitals. So if advisors have those type of corporate clients already, those would be great ones to look at for these life carve-out programs. But it's really all over the map. 15 people earning $100,000 that have white-collar jobs. So we have a lot of unique clients in our book of business. We have a furniture company. We have a beer company. We have a horse racing entity. We have an auction house. We have construction companies. We're not, insuring the people out in the field. We're insuring the managers and the VPs who are working behind desks. So in the world of corporate clients, it's all over the map. But it's also, if advisors know a CFO of a company, or a partner in a law firm, or they have a neighbor who's a VP of a tech company. So we don't want to just limit it to looking at their existing book of business and their existing corporate clients. They may have some individual clients that they do life insurance or disability insurance for, or health insurance for, that it may fit with their company that they're up the ladder at already. So that it's really all over the map. We don't want to pigeonhole it just with the law and financial firms. It can be any sort of corporate client with these type of plans.
It's great insight.
Yeah,
absolutely. I got a question. Actually, I want a quick follow-up. Are there any state restrictions
No,
Okay.
we can do all states. We can do New York. A lot of times New York is a problem. What we'll actually do is citus all of the applications out of one particular state that company has an office. Now, this is important to know because that also, the advisors don't have to be licensed or appointed in each in each state where a insured resides. They only have to be licensed and appointed in that one particular state that we are citusing the entire case out of. This is very helpful. This was a big win with the carriers that we've worked with. So, there are no state restrictions. We can do DC, we can do New York, we can do California. With our plans as well, we can insure people that are U.S. or non-U.S. citizens that reside outside of the United States. A lot of these law firms and consulting firms have people in Europe, in Asia, in places like that. So we can insure them under these programs, which is also very unique. People want to have everybody with the same benefit plans, with the same carrier. They don't want to have one plan for the Europe people and one plan for the United States people. So that is kind of another little unique part of our plan that we can provide these clients.
Yeah, and to that point, and that's why I said earlier we're GDPR compliant. That's the analogous SOC 2 in the rest of the world. With the idea here is that we're delivering a program that heretofore most agents are not involved in, but they do know valuable people, employees at those firms that are good prospects. And so that's part of the kind of the uncovering of who their prospective client firms are. We spend a lot of time with agencies, and just going over their clients. They don't give us the names, but we just go over the clients to determine who are the real good clients, prospective clients for them. And so that's a very valuable exercise to do. And I always suggest we do that with any agent or advisor. Just who do you know in these worlds? Don't need names, don't need names of the firms. We just need to know who it is, and then we can strategize on how best to communicate with them.
So can I would like to dig into that a little bit deeper. So you're kind of helping them mine their book of business.
That's a better way of putting it. Thanks, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I have an advisor that, that calls you guys, and you sit down and chat with them and kind of walk through, what does your book of business look like? And you're going to help them identify, here's the people I work with. Oh, I work with, I'm just going to pull something, out of thin air. I got an orthopedic surgeon in Madison, Wisconsin. Oh, tell me a little bit about him. Oh, well, he's part of a practice of, 15 other orthopedic surgeons. And through that conversation, that might end up being somebody that makes sense to have a conversation with. That's kind of what that looks like. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Yeah. A lot of times advisors just don't know that they have the prospects already for our programs. Yeah. So the exercise that Rick, about mining these existing book of business is very important, because if we go over, we can have a 20-minute call with them, and we may determine they have 5 prospects in our space that, 20 minutes before they come on that call, they didn't know about. So advisors are always looking for new prospects. And just by getting on the phone and kind of mining that book that they already have, can develop some new business for them.
And they're also, once they get involved with us, think about this. We help them with strategy. We provide marketing. These are for free. we provide marketing pieces. And then strategy on how to make the sale and how to uncover who's a good prospect. Then the sale is made. They get to the 1-yard line and they get in the end zone. Then we have some conversation with the end client and them, and we do all the work. Then We do all the application. We do all the administration that has to do with the plan. These are people, new hires, existing employees to put on the plan, terminations. We do all of that. And the reason I bring all that up is that I have several advisors who have said to me, one in particular said, Rick, I've been in the insurance business 27 years. The single most profitable piece of business I've ever done. You guys did everything. You guys did everything. And then I got a big check from the insurance company. What's wrong with this picture? I said, nothing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
And on that topic, in the topic of getting paid, these plans, they increase the number of people that they are having insured. They'll add new people constantly to these programs, new hires, new applications, new policies, new commission for the advisor at the end of the day. A lot of firms that we deal with merge with other firms, and then all of a sudden you have 30 new people to add onto the plan. So it kind of turns into a mushrooming cloud of comp. That's another analogy that Rick uses all the time that I'm stealing on this call. Turn into a mushrooming cloud of commission for the advisor, and it's, like he mentioned, it's very profitable because they've already handed the ball off to us. Sports analogy, and we are kind of running with it at that point, and they're not involved as much, and they're just collecting the checks. So it's a very easy way to increase their business and their revenue at their firm.
That was a great description of kind of how you help advisors identify opportunities, and then all of the things behind the scenes that you guys do to support the what was it? The mushrooming cloud of commission or of comp? I love that. But I'm curious, looking ahead, how do you see these types of guaranteed issue carve-out life products evolving over time? And what role do you envision advisors playing in delivering these solutions as part of a broader fiduciary plan?
The question really boils down to what is the advisor's role in the future? And my personal feeling is the advisor will always have a role, and it becomes more important. These plans are very, very important to firms. Firms are constantly looking to these type of benefits to differentiate them from other firms. There's in certain industries right now, there is a war going on with firms pirating. I don't know if that's the right word, or taking important people from other firms. The adding important people, retaining important people, getting as many rainmakers as they can from other firms, and sometimes the differentiation is in benefits. Now, people don't leave a firm to go to another firm because of a life insurance plan, but it's one of the things that's added to the mix that makes somebody leave. We just saw a very important lawyer get taken, for the lack of a better term.
Poached.
Slipped away.
Yeah. Another firm with a very substantial piece of what we do, plus a big signing bonus. Now, the signing bonus is what got him there, but it didn't hurt that he was going from $1 million of life insurance to $5 million.
Wow.
That didn't hurt. It did get across the goal line, but that's one of the things. So another item in reference to the future is there's an involvement going on with underwriting. Underwriting is a little bit more lenient for these cases. However, what's going on is less and less insurance companies are in this market. If you're not asking for blood work, you're not asking for attending physician statements. All you're asking for is a couple questions and $5 million of life insurance on 1 or 300 lives. It's for an underwriter or an actuary, it's something to get a little nervous about. But we have proven over time that there's value for insurance companies and profit for insurance companies to be in this market. So we think that insurance advisors who are very adept at what's going on in the marketplace. This differentiates them. And the involvement is knowing more about these type of plans and being able to deliver something different to differentiate the advisor from another advisor is to really know this particular market, besides other markets, but this particular market.
Well, very, very powerful stuff today, guys. I mean,
Absolutely.
What a great eye-opener for advisors and a great opportunity you guys kind of bring to the table. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for connecting with us. We really, truly appreciate it. Before we go, do you guys have any last thoughts or comments?
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah. Call us. We want to talk to you. Send us an email. If you have anything that you think may be a potential client, get us on a Zoom with you. We can go over all this information. We can really deep dive into the products. We can deep dive into how to differentiate yourself, as Rick mentioned, to your client. We can strategize. We can show you everything. Rick and I love, we're sales guys. We love, getting on the phone, talking through things. A lot of people just like emailing back and forth. We say, hey, what's wrong with picking up the phone and calling people? So, if you think you even have the littlest chance of a prospect, give us a call and we will tell you if it is a real chance or if it's not. A lot of times on these calls, you may think, oh, this one client is going to work. And we say, probably not. But then as we're talking through this, the plans, another one may pop into your head and you may think, oh, now I have 2 or 3 additional prospects. So again, call us. We're nice guys and we'll try to figure out if we can make some more business happen for you.
And to Jake's point, some of Jake's points, we didn't go over a lot of why this is so great. Let me give you just a couple things. The programs that we have, the life programs that we have, can deliver individual life insurance policies up to $5 million each for each person insured. So an example, if you had 80 people to insure, you could actually deliver $5 million of life insurance for each of those 80 people, 80. No exam and no blood work. And we do all of the work in reference to applications and the onboarding of all these people. The programs are portable. That means the life insurance plan. The individual employee owns the contract, individual policy. Employee owns it. The employee names his or her own beneficiary. The company pays for it. That's how 85% of our plans are set up. So it's the delivery of something that most advisors don't know exists on planet Earth. So we have these plans to review with advisors and let them know that they do exist.
Well, that's awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I would be remiss. Rick, I've been staring over your shoulder for the last, 52 minutes now since we jumped on this call at that painting in the background. And before we go, you have to tell us the story.
Okay, it's a quick story. It's actually in reference to Jake. Jake went to Susquehanna University, played basketball.
Free marketing for Susquehanna on this.
Nice. Yeah.
And I went to every one of his games, by the way, 103 straight games in 4 years. But one time I got to Susquehanna early for a game, and I happened to fall into a art exhibit. I love art. I'm always visiting art exhibits and galleries when I travel. And there are maybe 50 paintings at this art exhibit. And I saw this painting and I went, wow. Now, nothing. I asked the person who was kind of the host person at this exhibit, are these for sale? And she said, no. And then I said, everything's for sale. And I said, you have the phone number of the artist? She says, yeah. It's this woman in Southern Virginia. I said, well, I live in Northern Virginia. So I called the woman when I was there and got her on the phone. And I said, is your piece, I'm looking at the piece of this face. And I said, is it for sale? She said, of course it's for sale. First of all, who is it? And she said, well, it's just a handyman at my house doing work around my house. I said, it's an intriguing picture. And so I bought it on the spot.
Now I gotta ask a follow-up question. I know you didn't put it in your trunk. So how'd you get it home?
She shipped it. I paid for the shipping, and they shipped it to my office. And it's a pretty big piece. I think it's like 4x6 or 4x7. It's pretty big.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Way cool. Way cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that story, gentlemen. Again, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. This is great information. I see a lot of application in the advisors that we work with, and we'll put some folks in touch with you.
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So for everyone out there, I'm Eric Alvarado, along with Mr. Ted Hikes. This has been CBS Spotlight, your friendly conversation about insurance and wealth advising come together. So thank you for tuning in. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.